Hello happy people, my name is Dan and it's that time again. It's time to look at some more GM48 Game Jam games. These are all games made within 2 days around the theme of building. So, let's see what they've built. Okay, so up first today we have got Bunker Builder by Nasboys. And in Bunker Builder, what you are doing is building defences on top of your bunker. So these little people that are hiding safe in this bunker can avoid the natural disasters. It's a bit of an elemental matchup puzzle kind of game where what you have to do is, you see on the top left you've got the disaster coming through and it tells you what it's weak against and what it's strong against. So for example that meteor is, oh I couldn't read it, it's gone quickly. When the next disaster, there we go, the snowball was weak against rubber. So I need to build rubber, so I put that down and it stops the snowball. It's quite clever because each of these different defences have, each of these different natural disasters have strengths and weaknesses. The lightning bolt just plowed right through everything there. You've got a meteor, you've got a shovel which is weak against rubber but strong against sand, and basically you have to react quickly and build all the defences in time so that your bunker doesn't take damage. It's a very interesting concept. There's a lot of natural disasters that you have to fight back against, and you have to very quickly make the right choices and put them in the right place before they end up destroying your bunker. It is very good because what I find is very interesting is it's just a lot of different things happening all at once and you have to react quickly enough. What I did find is it starts off nice and slow at a good pace so you can get the hang of the controls and figure out what you're meant to do, and then as you're about to see, it picks up the pace very quickly. So suddenly, so you got there that little goopy virus thing, and we're not sure what that's weak against or strong against because it says unknown. Apparently it was just strong with everything and just ploughed straight into the bunker. There's a lot going on there and you have to act very quickly, and like I say, it does pick up the pace extremely fast. So suddenly you're finding yourself scrambling around to find the right resource in time and build it before your entire bunker gets destroyed. So I don't think I managed to survive the apocalypse too long because, as you can see now, look, it is just hammering down with disasters. I don't know what apocalypse this is, where there's just pickaxes and goops and all sorts just flying around, but it is quite interesting, but I did die. After 47 disaster sites, so not too bad. Yeah, this is an interesting concept. Good job. Okay, so up next we have Office Tower Throwdown by Cowboy and Dinosaur. And what you're doing in this game is you are fighting office demons. So you have the so you're this little office dude, and what I think is really clever about this is your ammo, as it were, is effectively the furniture around you. So you have to pick up the furniture and throw it at the little demon creatures, just like every office work that I can recall doing. It's yeah, just brings me back to my office days, fighting demons and throwing office chairs. It's it's a very clever concept, and I think the sort of colour scheme, you know, the sort of muted blues and then the reds for the demons, it kind of all works really well together. The pixel art is cute, it's you know, it's efficient, it does what it's meant to do, it's very clear what you're meant to do, I think, as well. I will say, so it's quite a short experience, but not in a bad way. It's a sort of, it's like a cookie, you know. It's a good experience while it lasts, but if you have too much of it, you're going to end up feeling bloated. So it's just the right amount. I will say, the boss fight at the end, which you will see soon, is so this is quite clever. I've only got 2 servers left. Oh, I died anyway, never mind. Back to restocking the ammo. Yeah, the boss fight at the end was a lot more difficult than the rest of the levels, which I think is good. It's nice to end on a challenging point, but I did cut out in the editing process the many fights against that boss I had. So it will look like I've beaten first time, and if you want to believe that, you can, but it took me a while. But yeah, you've got different enemies doing different things, so they all have different patterns. They jump and they follow you, and you have to sort of move around very quickly. I will say the controls on this one was just, so you use the WASD keys or the arrow keys to move around. You click to pick up the furniture, and then you press space to lob the furniture. It's a little bit tricky to get the sort of momentum of where you're throwing things right. I think maybe perhaps a little arrow or something would indicate where you're throwing it. That might help. And I will say as well, using A and D as a left and right option, but also not having W as a jump, a little bit unusual. I think it's a bit of a jarring experience. I do think, however, it's not a bad thing. It's just a case of, oh, here we go, my first time boss kill. I think it's just an easy adjustment to make just to get you get a W as a jump. I think that would just make a world of difference. But other than that, this is a really nice, fully packaged, ready to go little game experience. I think perhaps as a web game afterwards, they should upload this and let the world enjoy the clerical work of office, you know, the clerical office work. Because this is just, yeah, it's just like every other office, you know. I know plenty of people who work in offices, and this is their day-to-day life. It's a really nice game. I think it's really well made and really well executed. Like I said, just a little tweak with the controls, that's all it needs, and maybe a little indicator to say where you're logging some stuff. It took a little getting used to, but other than that, it is, what can I say, it's just really nicely done, and I'm just chucking all this stuff at the boss now. And there you go, look at that, first time kill straight away, and now I am head of a company. Good job. Okay, so up next we have got Castle Builder by Jaspo. And Jaspo, you have really made me work to get this game on my computer. Yeah, it was actually made in Game Maker Studio 1.4, and a lot of computers these days, I think anything made in GMS 1.4 is a virus. So thankfully they did recompile it, and it's on Game Maker Studio 2 they recompiled, so it is working now, but my goodness, that was palaver to get. What you have to do here is you have to build up your castle. So you have certain build actions remaining, so you have the options at the top there, and then you can start the wave and the enemies will come at you. I do think the GUI for the actual building could have been a little bit improved. Maybe some sort of semi-transparent overlay to say where you can and can't build things might have helped, as it was a little unclear when I had selected something, but that was only a small issue. That aside, this is a really novel idea, it's very cute. And I think it's quite clever the way you have to consider what you're building. You can see on each block the health markers to say how much each block has left, and you have to survive as long as you can. What I didn't quite understand is when you built certain things, the health around the surrounding blocks got impacted, and I wasn't quite sure why, as sometimes they went up and sometimes they went down. I think maybe that could have been made a little clear. Again, some sort of graphic user interface in overlay to say, placing this block here will put this one down by 10 health or something like that, I don't know. But I get, time is a difficult factor in these jams, so maybe that's an improvement for a later stage. All the same though, I did enjoy this game. You have to, I wasn't really sure what difference certain blocks made, but I was quite enjoying the fact that you still have to just build as much as you can and defend yourself as much as you can from the waves of enemies. I think the windows are the ones that fire, and the doors attract the certain types of enemies, and the other ones will just fire at random, I think, by the looks of it. And you get more build actions as you go along. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. Good job. Okay, so up next today we have got Escape the Blackhole by Crazidev. And crazy is the right name because this is quite a crazy game. The controls are very difficult to get the hang of because you have to hold down the button that creates either a ramp or a bounce pad and rotate it and release it. But you also have the left mouse key to build the blocks, so it's quite confusing because there's a keyboard control or a mouse control to create different things. So it took a little bit of getting used to. Also, I'm attached to that bounce pad, and I don't know why or how. But the idea is you're meant to build your way out of the black hole and get yourself to the door. I'll have to give it another go because it was a bit tricky to get the hang of. I think it was sheer... Oh, that piece just went flying off there. I think it was sheer luck that I managed to get past this bit here just by kind of surfboard riding that plank onto this here. It got a little easier as I moved along. Falling off will end your run. Well, I thought... Press Q to restart. I should have known that beforehand. So I'm just trying to get myself out of these zigzaggedy shapes. It is interesting. I really like the concept. It's just a lot to get my head around. There's so much going on with the rotating and getting everything just right. It's especially the sort of weird juxtaposition of using a keyboard to place some things and a mouse to place another thing. It does definitely, like I said, take some getting used to. You also get some projectiles there, which are down to the right. I'm just trying to bounce my way up there. So yeah, projectiles, they can be blocked. So I thought, oh, easy, I'll put that there. and then I fell off and landed on it, so I started over. It is very confusing, but like I said, it's a good idea. It's definitely an interesting concept. It's just I think the controls need fleshing out a little bit, and physics platformers, as fun as they are really tricky, so it might need a few more goes to get the hang of. But the concept is good, so I did enjoy this one. Definitely worth a go, but yeah, it just takes some getting used to. But other than that, good job. Okay, so up next today we have got C.A.T.B.O.T Circuit Builder by Team Sunforge. And what you were doing in C.A.T.B.O.T Team Circuit Forge, which I've definitely not butchered, is you are flinging a cat into these little circuit board nodes, avoiding the obstacles, lighting them all up, and then, sure enough, once they're all lit, you go to the exit, or once the requisite amount are lit. It's a very cute game, it's very nice graphics, and the music and audio in themselves very nice as well. It can stand on its own as a game without necessarily being a jam game, which I think is very excellent. There are a few nitpicks I have, such as I don't necessarily understand why I have to wait on the nodes, as it kind of defeats the point. Surely once I'm there, that's fine. I do also find the hitboxes for the zapping, I can understand, sure, when you get zapped, it's if you hit it at all, but if you try to fling yourself, you can find yourself stuck in a bit of an awkward position, so you have to think a little bit more tactically than I would have expected, because the flinging backwards can still harm you. Those sorts of nitpicks aside, it is still a really great game and can stand on its own, game jam or otherwise. I'm not sure how it fits the theme of building, I'll be honest. I know it's called C.A.T.B.O.T Circuit Builder. I'm not sure necessarily to what element you're building this circuit. You're just flinging yourself across it more than anything. And there is a little bit of, yeah, you see there where I got run over by the zappers. It's a bit of an odd physics mechanic which takes a little bit of getting used to. But that aside, like I said, it's only nitpicks because it is a very nicely done game. It's cute, it's well animated, and you wouldn't necessarily expect it to be made in 2 days. So it's a good little puzzle, and I enjoyed it. But like I said, not necessarily on theme, but overall, good job. And finally today we have got Towering Tank by Boman. And in Towering Tank you build up your tank to have more and more weapons to take down all the zombies and things that are in the apocalypse. At least that's the theory. The dev high score is apparently 11,000. How on earth they got 11,000 is totally beyond me, as I think my best score was like 400. It's a very tough game. It's one of those where I imagine it gets easier as time goes by because you're building up more weapons. I got to the second weapon and that was it. It's a very, very tough game to get right. The balance of a sort of endless bullet hell shooter style, especially when I'm not very good at shooters. Ironic, given I made one. But it's an interesting concept. I really like the art. There's a bit of a heavy metal track going on in the background, which is really interesting. I hope that was made within the 2 days as well, because I'm not... It sounds, I don't know, I suppose I'd say it sounds familiar, but then I used to like a lot of metal tracks when I was younger, and all of them kind of sounded like that. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure it was within the rules of it, but my gosh, this is a difficult game. How on earth anyone's meant to get 11,000 is beyond me. I really do appreciate the background effects though. That is very well made. I have no idea how they accomplished that, but it's really, really well done. I think it might have been using the filter things that Game Maker has. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it's very, very impressive. And of course, the artwork itself, all the little demon creatures and zombies, they're all very cute and they're all very well made. So I do appreciate the art style. But yeah, like I was saying, see, there you go. I've got like another weapon. That's as far as I got. I have no idea how. I'll have to give it another go because I've absolutely no idea how someone's meant to get 11,000 on this. It's a very tough game. But it's very Moorish and it's very addictive. So overall, this is a good job and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, toning down the difficulty, at least at the beginning, might have helped, especially with what I think was like the teacup looking demon. He kept running in and killing me straight away. But yeah, that is going to cover them all today. So only 16 games this time around, which is a bit of a shame. I really do hope more people do join the GM48 Game Jam. And if you're watching this and you're a budding game dev, artist, musician, what have you, and you want to get involved, please do. It's gm48.net, and I would highly encourage you to join them. They're every 3 months, and honestly, they're such a brilliant experience. So that's going to cover everything for this time around. But if you're looking to join in, I could be looking at your game in the next one, and who wouldn't want that? But I do hope you all enjoy, and if you did, be sure to stick around, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, though, bye!